Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Daniel, and I am really happy you are here with us today.
Hi, everyone. I am Sarah. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are going to talk about something very practical and important.
Yes, today Sarah and I are going to discuss the biggest mistakes English learners keep making every day. These are common patterns I see repeated over and over, and many learners do not even realize they are making these mistakes.
I am very interested in this topic, Daniel, because I want to improve my English, but I do not always know what I am doing wrong. What is the first big mistake learners make?
The first mistake is translating directly from their native language instead of thinking in English. This is probably the most common mistake, and it creates so many problems.
What do you mean by translating directly? Can you give me an example?
Sure. In many languages, people say I have hunger instead of I am hungry, or they say I have 20 years instead of I am 20 years old. This happens because they take the structure from their native language and just replace the words with English words.
Oh, I do this sometimes. I think of a sentence in my language first, then I try to convert it to English.
Exactly, and this creates awkward, unnatural sentences. Each language has its own logic and structure. What works in your language might not work in English.
So, how do I stop doing this? How do I start thinking in English?
It takes time, but here are practical steps. First, stop translating word by word. Instead, learn phrases and chunks of language. For example, do not think do plus homework. Just learn the phrase do homework as one unit.
So, I should memorize common phrases instead of building sentences from individual words?
Exactly. Native speakers do not construct sentences word by word, they use ready made chunks. I am looking forward to, it depends on, as far as I know, these are all chunks that you should learn as complete units.
That makes sense. What else can I do to think in English?
Immerse yourself in English as much as possible. Listen to podcasts, watch videos, read books. The more English you consume, the more your brain starts to recognize English patterns naturally.
And should I practice narrating my day in English?
Yes, excellent idea. When you are cooking, describe what you are doing in English. When you are walking, describe what you see. This builds the habit of thinking in English.
Okay, I will try that. What is the second big mistake learners make?
The second mistake is focusing too much on grammar rules and not enough on actual usage. Many learners can explain complex grammar rules but cannot have a simple conversation.
I think I have this problem. I know about present perfect and past perfect and conditionals, but when I speak, I cannot use them correctly.
This is very common. The problem is that schools often teach grammar as if it is mathematics. They teach rules, exceptions, and formulas. But language is not mathematics. It is a living, breathing system of communication.
So, what should I do instead of studying grammar rules?
Study grammar, but also study how native speakers actually use the language. Notice patterns in real conversations, movies, and books. For example, you might learn that we use present perfect with just, already, and yet. But then notice how often native speakers actually use simple past instead in casual conversation.
So, real usage does not always follow the textbook rules.
Correct. Native speakers break grammar rules all the time in casual speech. They say things like me and John went instead of John and I went. They say who did you give it to instead of to whom did you give it. This is normal, natural English.
So, I should learn the rules, but also learn how people really talk?
Exactly. Rules give you foundation, but real exposure shows you how English actually works in practice. Now let me tell you about the third mistake, pronouncing every word with equal stress.
What do you mean by that?
English is a stress-timed language. This means some words and syllables are stressed and others are reduced. But many learners pronounce every word clearly and with equal emphasis, which makes their English sound robotic and hard to understand.
Can you give me an example?
Sure, take the sentence I am going to the store. A learner might say I am going to the store, stressing every word equally, but a native speaker would say I'm going to the store. The words am, to, and the are reduced. They are pronounced quickly and quietly.
So, I need to learn which words to stress and which words to reduce.
Exactly. In English, we typically stress content words like nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. We reduce function words like articles, prepositions, pronouns, and auxiliary verbs.
This is very helpful. How can I practice this?
Listen to native speakers very carefully. Pay attention to which words they emphasize and which words they say quickly. Then practice imitating the rhythm. You can also use a technique called shadowing, where you listen to English and try to speak along at the same time. matching the rhythm and stress.
I will try shadowing. What is the fourth mistake?
The fourth mistake is using formal, textbook English in casual conversations. Many learners sound too stiff and formal when they speak because they learned English from textbooks.
What do you mean? Can you give an example?
Sure, a learner might say, I would like to inquire about the location of the restroom when a native speaker would simply say, Where's the bathroom? Or they might say, I am not in possession of that information instead of, I do not know.
So my English sounds too formal and unnatural?
Many learners have this issue. Textbooks teach correct, formal English, which is good for writing and professional situations. But casual conversation requires different language.
How do I learn casual, natural English?
Watch TV shows, movies, and YouTube videos where people speak naturally. Listen to how friends talk to each other. Notice the contractions, the slang, the informal phrases, and then start using them yourself.
Can you give me some examples of casual phrases I should know?
Sure. Instead of I do not understand, say I do not get it. Instead of that is very good, say that is great or that is awesome. Instead of I am very tired, say I am exhausted or I am beat. These small changes make you sound much more natural.
Those are helpful examples. What is the fifth mistake?
The fifth mistake is not learning collocations. Collocations are words that naturally go together in English.
What is an example of a collocation?
In English, we say make a decision, not do a decision, or take a decision. We say heavy rain, not strong rain or big rain. We say fast food, not quick food. These combinations are fixed. Native speakers always use them together.
So even if the grammar is correct, if I do not use the right collocation, it sounds wrong?
Exactly. You might say do a mistake instead of make a mistake. Grammatically, it is not terrible, but it sounds unnatural because native speakers always say make a mistake.
How can I learn collocations?
When you learn a new word, learn the words that commonly go with it. Do not just learn the word decision. Learn make a decision, reach a decision, difficult decision. Do not just learn rain. Learn heavy rain, light rain, pouring rain, torrential rain.
So I should learn words in context, not in isolation?
Exactly. This is much more effective. You can also keep a collocation notebook where you write down common combinations you hear or read.
That is a great idea. What is the sixth mistake?
The sixth mistake is ignoring phrasal verbs and trying to use single verbs instead. English uses phrasal verbs constantly in everyday speech, but many learners avoid them because they seem complicated.
I do find phrasal verbs confusing. There are so many of them, and one verb can have many different meanings depending on the preposition.
I understand. Phrasal verbs are challenging, but they are essential for natural English. Native speakers use them all the time. If you avoid them, your English will sound formal and foreign.
Can you give me examples?
Sure. Native speakers say give up, not surrender. They say look for, not search for. They say put off, not postpone. They say figure out, not solve. These phrasal verbs are more common in conversation than the formal single word verbs.
So I need to actively learn phrasal verbs?
Yes, but do not try to memorize hundreds of them at once. Start with the most common ones. Learn phrasal verbs like get up, wake up, turn on, turn off, look for, look after, give up, take off, put on. These are used every single day.
Should I learn them with example sentences?
Absolutely. Always learn phrasal verbs in context. Do not just memorize that take off means remove. Learn the sentence I took off my jacket or the plane took off. This helps you understand how to use them.
That makes sense. What is the seventh mistake?
The seventh mistake is not listening enough. Many learners spend most of their time reading and studying grammar, but they do not spend enough time listening to real English.
But I do listen sometimes. I listen to English songs and watch movies.
That is good, but is it active listening or passive listening? Many learners have English playing in the background while they do other things. This is passive listening, and it does not help much.
What is active listening?
Active listening means you focus completely on what you are hearing. You try to understand every word. You notice pronunciation, intonation, rhythm. You might replay sections multiple times. You might write down what you hear.
So I should really concentrate and pay attention?
Yes. Spend at least 15 to 30 minutes every day doing focused, active listening. Choose content at your level or slightly above your level. Listen multiple times to the same material until you understand it completely.
What kind of material should I listen to?
Start with podcasts or videos designed for learners. Then gradually move to content for native speakers. Choose topics you are interested in so you stay motivated. The key is consistency. Listen every single day.
I will make this a priority. What is the eighth mistake?
The eighth mistake is being afraid to make mistakes, so learners do not practice speaking enough. We talked about this in our previous conversation, but it is worth mentioning again because it is such a critical issue.
Yes, I know I need to speak more, but I still feel nervous.
I understand, but here's the truth. You cannot improve speaking without speaking. It is impossible. You need to make thousands of mistakes to improve. Every mistake teaches your brain something.
But what if I develop bad habits from making mistakes?
That is a common worry, but it is largely unfounded. As long as you are also getting good input from listening and reading, your brain will naturally correct errors over time. The benefits of speaking practice far outweigh the risk of developing bad habits.
So I should just start speaking, even if I make mistakes?
Absolutely. Find every opportunity to speak. Talk to yourself, record yourself, find language exchange partners online, join English conversation groups. The more you speak, the faster you improve.
Okay, I will be more brave about speaking. What is the ninth mistake?
The ninth mistake is neglecting pronunciation from the beginning. Many learners think they will work on pronunciation later after they improve their grammar and vocabulary, but this is backwards.
Why is it backwards?
Because pronunciation habits become ingrained very quickly. If you practice saying words incorrectly for months or years, it becomes very difficult to fix later. Your mouth muscles develop memory for the wrong sounds.
So I should focus on pronunciation from day one?
Yes, from the very beginning. When you learn a new word, learn how to pronounce it correctly. Listen to it multiple times, repeat it many times, use online dictionaries that have audio pronunciation.
What are the most important things to focus on for pronunciation?
Focus on individual sounds that do not exist in your language. For example, many learners struggle with the sounds, or the difference between L and R, or V and W. Practice these difficult sounds regularly.
What else should I focus on?
Word stress and sentence rhythm, which we discussed earlier. Also, intonation. English uses rising and falling tones to convey meaning. A rising tone at the end of a sentence often indicates a question. A falling tone indicates a statement.
So, pronunciation is not just about individual sounds?
No, it is about sounds, stress, rhythm, and intonation all working together. This is why listening to native speakers and imitating them is so important.
I will pay more attention to all of these aspects. What is the 10th mistake?
The 10th mistake is not reviewing and recycling what you have learned. Many learners are always moving forward, learning new things, but they never go back and review old material.
Is reviewing really that important?
It is essential. Your brain forgets most of what you learn unless you review it regularly. This is called the forgetting curve. Without review, you might remember only 10 to 20% of what you studied.
So, how should I review effectively?
Use spaced repetition. This means reviewing material at increasing intervals. You might review new vocabulary after 1 day, then after 3 days, then after 1 week, then after 2 weeks, then after 1 month. This pattern helps move information from short-term memory to long-term memory.
Are there tools to help with spaced repetition?
Yes, apps like Anki use spaced repetition algorithms, but you can also do it manually. Keep a notebook and schedule regular review sessions. The key is consistency.
I understand. What is the 11th mistake?
The 11th mistake is learning isolated words instead of learning them in sentences and contexts. Many learners use flashcards with just a word on one side and translation on the other.
I do this. I have flashcards with English words and my language translations.
This method has some value, but it is limited. When you learn a word in isolation, you do not learn how to use it. You do not know what words it goes with, what situations it is used in, or what grammar it requires.
So, what should I do instead?
Learn words in example sentences. If you want to learn the word refuse, do not just memorize refuse equals say no. Instead, learn the sentence, she refused to answer the question, or he refused my offer. This way you learn the word, its grammar, and its context all together.
That makes much more sense. What is the 12th mistake?
The 12th mistake is not reading enough. Reading is one of the most powerful ways to improve your English, but many learners do not read regularly.
I find reading difficult because I do not understand many words.
That is why you need to choose the right level material. If you understand less than 90% of the words, the material is too difficult. You should understand most of what you read and only encounter a few new words.
Where can I find reading material at my level?
There are graded readers designed specifically for English learners. These are real books simplified to different levels. Start at a comfortable level and gradually move up. You can also read news websites for learners like News and Levels.
How much should I read?
Try to read for at least 20 to 30 minutes every day. Consistency is more important than quantity. Daily reading builds vocabulary, reinforces grammar patterns, and improves your overall feel for the language.
Should I look up every word I do not know?
No, that will slow you down too much and make reading frustrating. Try to guess meaning from context. Only look up words that appear frequently or that prevent you from understanding the main idea.
That is helpful advice. What is the 13th mistake?
The 13th mistake is not setting clear, specific goals. Many learners say, I want to improve my English, but that is too vague. Without specific goals, you cannot measure progress or stay motivated.
What kind of goals should I set?
Set SMART goals. This means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Instead of, I want to improve my speaking, say I want to have a 15-minute conversation in English without switching to my native language by the end of this month.
That is much more concrete. Can you give me another example?
Sure. Instead of, I want to learn more vocabulary, say I want to learn and use 50 new words related to my job by the end of this month. Or instead of, I want to improve my listening, say I want to understand 80% of a news podcast without subtitles within 2 months.
I see. These goals are clear and I can track my progress.
Exactly. And when you achieve a goal, celebrate it. Then set a new goal. This creates momentum and keeps you motivated.
What is the 14th mistake?
The 14th mistake is comparing yourself to others instead of tracking your own progress. Many learners feel discouraged because they see other people who seem more advanced.
I do this sometimes. I see people speaking English fluently and I feel bad about my own level.
This is destructive thinking. Everyone has a different starting point, different learning pace, different amount of time to study, different resources. Comparing yourself to others is unfair and demotivating.
So, what should I do instead?
Compare yourself to your past self. Keep a learning journal. Record yourself speaking today, then record yourself again in 1 month. Compare the two recordings. You will see improvement, and that will motivate you.
That is a much healthier approach. What is the final mistake?
The final mistake, and this is a big one, is not making English a daily habit. Many learners study intensively for a few days, then take a break for a week, then study again. This on and off approach does not work
Why does it not work?
because language learning requires consistent exposure. Your brain needs daily input to build strong neural pathways. If you study for 3 hours on Sunday but do nothing the rest of the week, you will forget most of what you learned.
So, daily practice is better than occasional intensive study?
Absolutely. 30 minutes every day is much more effective than 3 hours once a week. Daily exposure keeps English fresh in your mind and builds momentum.
But what if I am very busy? How can I practice English every day?
Build English into your existing routine. Listen to English podcasts while commuting. Watch English videos while eating breakfast. Read English articles before bed. Think in English while walking. You do not need extra time. You just need to replace some of your native language activities with English.
That makes it much more achievable. So, I should integrate English into my daily life?
Exactly. Make English a natural part of your day, not a separate study session. This is how you create lasting progress.
Daniel, this has been incredibly helpful. You have given me so much practical advice. Let me summarize what we discussed. The biggest mistakes are translating directly from my native language, focusing too much on rules and not enough on usage, pronouncing everything with equal stress, using overly formal language, not learning collocations, avoiding phrasal verbs, not listening enough, being afraid to speak, neglecting pronunciation, not reviewing regularly, learning isolated words, not reading enough, not setting clear goals, comparing myself to others, and not making English a daily habit.
Perfect summary, Sarah. If you can avoid these 15 mistakes, your English will improve dramatically.
I feel motivated to make changes starting today.
That is wonderful. And remember, you do not need to fix everything at once. Choose one or two mistakes to work on this week. Then next week, focus on one or two more. Gradual improvement is sustainable improvement.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with me and with everyone listening.
You are very welcome. And to everyone listening, we hope this conversation helps you identify areas for improvement. Remember, mistakes are normal. What matters is recognizing them and taking steps to correct them.
Yes, be patient with yourself. Learning a language is a journey, not a race.
Thank you so much for listening to us today. We truly appreciate your time and attention.
We hope you found this conversation valuable and practical. Take what you learned and apply it to your English practice.
Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep improving every single day.
You are doing great. Believe in yourself and your ability to master English.
Goodbye for now, and we wish you success on your learning journey.
Goodbye, and see you next time.